A man who bears the marks of Jesus. God works in advance to fulfill his covenant for Israel, and for this work, he needed to use one man, Joseph. However, God did not guide this man, who was used for his work of salvation, into a life of comfort. Rather, through shackles and chains, God engraved the necessary marks on Joseph. The word mark, which was a translation from the original Greek word stigma, is a stronger word than trauma, which is a translation of the word scar. The word stigma refers to the marks that were paved deeply on a slave's body. It also signifies the reputation of shame, criticism, misunderstanding, and slander that follows a person. God truly trained Joseph by having the word engraved on him like a deep mark, like gold that is refined by repeatedly dipping it in and out of fire and water. The reason why God did this was not only to use Joseph for the fulfillment of his word, but because he wanted Joseph to become the word itself. In the same way, for the word to be engraved on our stone-like hearts, we must also experience the pain of stigma. This is something we cannot evade no matter how wise or honest our actions are. That is because this stigma is a glorious sign that a servant of God and witness must have. The three things necessary to become a servant of God and a witness are to know, to believe, and to understand God. You are my witnesses, declares the Lord, and my servant whom I have chosen, so that you may know and believe me and understand that I am He. To know God becomes possible when one experiences God the Father's love as if a baby gets to know their parents. Also, to believe God's intention, character, and power becomes possible by listening, reading, and learning His Word. However, it is totally impossible to understand God with man's limited capacity and fixed mindset. This can be only possible when one overcomes their own limit and logic, denies oneself, and relies on God's guidance. And in this process, stigma is inevitable. Meanwhile, when the stigma was engraved on Joseph, that was when God finally set him free. Then Joseph was able to reign in life, and his teaching became God's wisdom. The problem of many believers is that they become free before God frees them, like Joseph. And since they rule without the marks of Jesus, they reign in death, and their teaching becomes the words of Satan. Amy Carmichael sang the following words: "Hast thou no scar, no hidden scar on foot or side or hand? I hear thee sung as mighty in the land. I hear them hail thy bright ascendant star. Hast thou no wound? Yet I was wounded by the archers, spent, leaned me against a tree to die, and rent by ravening beasts that compassed me. I swooned. Hast thou no wound? Yet as a master shall the servant be, and pierced are the feet that follow me. But thine are whole, can he have followed far?" Paul presents a recommendation for himself to those who doubted his apostleship. "For I bear on my body the marks of Jesus." Our most glorious goal must be to engrave the marks of Jesus as stigma on our bodies. Psalm 105, 17-19. "And he sent a man before them, Joseph, sold as a slave. They bruised his feet with shackles. His neck was put in irons, till what he foretold came to pass, till the word of the Lord proved him true."